Hello and welcome. First there was lockdown fatigue and now there's revenge tourism. While it has restricted our lifestyles, this pandemic seems to have certainly expanded our vocabulary, at least after months of anxiety being cooped up at home as COVID rages outside. Well-to-do Indians are wasting no time in heading outdoors. News and photos of tourists in Manali and other hill stations in Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Jammu and Kashmir have gone viral. And they're raising concerns about a third wave of the coronavirus pandemic as people walk around maskless, flouting social distancing rules. The medical fraternity is calling these visuals frightening. Everyone wants fresh air to recharge one's batteries, that's only human. But are we throwing caution to the winds and inviting a third wave to hit India hard? And is India vaccinating enough to keep pace? To vaccinate even 60% of our population with both doses by December 2021, India must carry out 88 lakh vaccinations per day. We are currently vaccinating only 34 lakh. And this shortfall is mainly due to a lack of supplies. Now, despite the centre's promises of increased supply of vaccines, the shortage continues with vaccination centres across India being closed, and this at a time when India actually needs them to ramp up daily vaccinations. I want to first start though today's show on We the People. I want to get Hemang Sharma. He's a college student from Ahmedabad. Joining us from Manali actually right now, where Hemang, you've taken an Airbnb and you're staying with your family. Is that correct?
I'm staying with my family at Airbnb at the suburbs of Manali right now. We are not in the main market right now.
Well, lucky you, but well, you're very lucky and you're very smart. I'm sure you figured that out by now. But Hemang, you get it, right? You get why people are traveling with a vengeance right now. They're frustrated and frankly, I mean, they're at a point where you just don't care. You have to come out. Is that how you felt? Is that why?
No. My feeling about that was like, yes, you do want to feel fresh, but you still have to keep a safety with yourself. We were pretty lucky that all of my cousins and all of my family were vaccinated before coming up over here. So we took a precautionary measure of getting vaccinated. And another thing was that we took our time and sorry.
Both doses or one?
Yes, both doses.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So we were quite lucky that we had our vaccination. And another thing was that we took our time. We selected a particular spot which is very far away from the main market, so that we don't get crowded. We don't get into more crowd, and we are enjoying our own privacy over here.
So you basically had the foresight, or you thought about it, and of course you had the budget for this, where you took an Airbnb because you didn't want to stay at a hotel. You tried not to expose yourself to others and people who you don't know what their history is. That's basically the logic here, right?
Yes.
And so what is your experience?
The budget doesn't matter if it concerns the health. The budget doesn't matter, because we have to take certain measures to overcome this pandemic, right? So for that also we have wasted a lot of budget. So if we want to enjoy and if we want to get our lives on the track, and if we want to get a fresh air, we have to have a budget like that, and we have to enjoy on that space only.
Unfortunately, not everybody can afford it. But and what's your experience been like in Manali? I know you said you're on the outskirts, but driving up, have you had a chance to go into the more central parts, the mall area?
So yeah, we were seeing people, we were seeing officials taking a good care. Like we were seeing officials who were ensuring that people are wearing masks, and who were ensuring that people are maintaining social distance. But still, I personally didn't have interest to go in that market. I personally was in the suburbs only, and for the roaming around also, we were particularly choosing a location which is not far, which is not close to the market, which are very crowded. And so I choose the locations which are very, very inferior in the market.
All right. Well, thanks. Well, we hope you get your break and that you can stay safe, because of course mental health also very important in this time that we're living in. Kashish Emmanuel also joined us. She's a college student in Delhi, and you traveled a week ago. You went to Nainital, Kashish, and you thought it would be a detox for everyone after a long lockdown. What was your experience when you reached there? You felt that was the right decision to travel?
In retrospect, no, because whenever we go to a hill station, most people have this mentality that, the hills won't be as crowded as, the metropolitan cities that we live in. And we had been locked in for almost 2 years. So we'd thought that, what, we'll just take a little detox break from here and, just go for 2-3 days there. But upon reaching there, I just felt really embarrassed because I was in a way contributing to, everything that was going on there. And in retrospect, although I did enjoy my vacation, I did not feel very proud of it because at the end of the day, we're not only endangering ourselves, but we're also endangering the people who are civilians over there. So in retrospect, I don't think it was a good decision.
That's fascinating, the way you put it like that. I think probably many people felt that everybody feels that, look, there's a small window between a second wave and a third wave, and let's try and make the most of it and let's try and get out. But then you realize you're no different from everybody else, and everybody has that same thought.
Yes, that's true, and almost everyone has the same thought because most people, when they're going to the hills, they think that is a place that is not crowded at all. However, upon reaching there, people just tend to forget that there are certain norms that we need to follow also, and that you can't just go around putting yourself and others at danger.
So, were people following these norms? Are you like Hemang? To ask, have you managed to find yourself in places that are isolated, or have you, unfortunately, had to be around places where there are lots of other people, crowds?
All right, so I wasn't exactly in the heart of Nainital, but it was a district for 7 kilometers away from there. It was fairly crowded, but we did go to Nainital for a day for about a few hours, and it was crowded like anything. Like there was barely space to walk in. That's how crowded it was. And 50% of the population were not wearing masks. And nowadays, you can't even guarantee that a mask is, going to protect you from COVID. So, yeah.
So, were you nervous on coming back? I mean, how would you do things differently? Like in hindsight, you would not go to Nainital at all that day?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I wouldn't have traveled at all if I knew that this was the condition.
Not traveled at all?
Yeah, that's true.
Wow, that's very honest, very candid. Thanks, Kashish. I want to just bring in then P.P. Khanna, President of the Association of the Domestic Tour Operators of India and board member of the Federation of Associations of Indian Tourism and Hospitality, and Jyoti Guleria, partner of Eco Hospitality, the Shimla Group, a member of the Shimla Hotels and Restaurant Associations. Mr. Khanna, first your response to Kashish. She's somebody who's been out for a holiday, for a break. She was having complete fatigue and being locked in, and now she says in hindsight she wished she had not done that at all. What can the hospitality, the tourism industry do to assuage the fears of people like Kashish?
See, thank you very much. The reason is actually, everybody wants to go out. Why? After the 2 months of the lockdown, and staying at home is not exactly is in their heart. Is in their heart is that to go out, because people cannot die without the travel. And the reason is because of the Delhi and NCR. We have seen that, observed that heat in Delhi and NCR, about the temperature of 43 and 44 degrees Celsius, have really compelled people to go out of the city and to enjoy the, the hills and a little bit the temperature also. Unfortunately, and we can call it as a revenge tourism, because, people were revenging it, and this crowd is called as a revenge crowd, basically. The people were thinking that when they go out, everybody is aware of that, the COVID protocols and the SOPs, standard operating procedures, that they have to follow. Unfortunately, it is not happening. Like she said that, after going there, she thought that not to go again, because everybody has a fear in their mind that exactly they are traveling to some place where there is a isolation, where there is a no crowd, where there is a safety, where there is a sanitization. Unfortunately, it is not happening. And this is a very disappointing for all of us, that people are not adhering to the protocols. They are not they rather, I will say, travelers paying no heed to COVID appropriate behavior. That's the, the very, 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 very disappointing for all of us.
All right, you
And
say it's
we are
very
inviting a
disappointing,
third
it's very
phase.
unfortunate, PK Khanna, but as states have started opening up after this ferocious second wave, the upper middle class with spending power, they're all stepping out. Like you say, they want to be anywhere but home, where they've been locked up and locked in for months. But this is not quite what the doctor ordered. While it's not quite what the doctor ordered, it is a huge relief for the travel and tourism sector, correct? Which took a beating last year?
Yes, yeah, it is a relief to the, the tourism and the hospitality, but even, hoteliers were really totally vacant for the last 2 and 3 months. It came in, for January and February it happened. After that, they were totally vacant. Now, this is the time. Everybody wants to have the business because already under the first COVID and the second COVID, the people are without, the cash flow, without, any subsidy given by the government even. Nothing has happened. How do they survive? How do they revive? How do they thrive? That was the challenge in front of all of us, tourism and the hospitality industry. And, after, this uplifting of the lockdown, the hotelier said, let it become, aane do, jo bhi aata hai, aane do. And they were even not following the protocols we have observed, and we have got a lot of complaints even from the public and from the other, the stakeholders, that even the hotels are not adhering to the, the protocols and the SOPs. So it is very, very much necessary. Everybody wants a business, everybody wants to survive, but unfortunately it is not happening. And also the government.
So let me ask you, so then, Mr. Khanna, it's basic human impulse, right? You want fresh air, you want to break. But the reality is that, as we're saying nowadays, hashtag COVID is not over. How are you in this process managing to protect your own staff? You see these marauding crowds, etc. Are staff at these hotels, etc., completely vaccinated? You want them to come to work. They have to serve people who are coming, who are not following COVID restrictions. Is the staff at least vaccinated?
No. I totally agree with you. Even the staff is not really vaccinated. That is the requirement of an hour, that we need, that the government should only allow those hotels where their staff is totally vaccinated and they are safe. So
and not allow entry into states of people who haven't been tested, who haven't been vaccinated, when hotels, etc., have staff that haven't been vaccinated, because they're so vulnerable now. All right, I want to go across to somebody who is from the travel industry, but not necessarily ecstatic about Indians traveling again. Sam Sidhana. Sam owns a homestay in Dharamshala. Sam, you're not happy with the decision of states opening up, despite you would benefit from it. Why is that?
Yeah, hi. So, because, everybody was coming here previously, getting the test done, or they have a vaccination proof, and then you apply for an e-pass. So this is just Himachal I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So then a host gives you the address proof. The student or whoever is coming gets the e-pass. That's how we are very sure that the person is coming for 2 months and he's got the RT-PCR or he's got the vaccination proof. And we were very happy that, the guy is cautious enough and it's a safe environment. But since this has opened up, there are so many queries in a day, and everybody wants to come for a weekend and they want to bring their booze and they want to party. So we've written it down on the Airbnb and our own website that we are not catering to a short-term tourists. So we are only open for work from home.
Wow.
And this Himachal also benefited from this when the lockdown happened. They were actually promoting work from home tourism. They were not promoting tourists come for 2-3 days, and everybody was very happy with that. Yeah, so because it's a lot of work for us, to get the room sanitized, and it's a lot of stuff. So yeah, I'm not catering to short-term tourists as of now. Yeah, I hope this Himachal stops this, and again they start with RT-PCR and few
By the way,
precautions.
you have a lovely place. We're looking at those pictures, and I'm not surprised that you have a lot of demand for people wanting to stay there. But I want to understand this again. There's the financial benefit that you're willing to forego. at this point of time? Because I'm sure the people who can stay for months, as you put it, or weeks, work from home, there can't be as many as those who are willing to come for a week at a time.
I see, we have 150 Mbps with the power backup. There is no road. So you got to trek down to reach my spot, but the amenities are there. So all the MNCs also, what do they want? You want 3 times nice food. You want the view of the Dollar Range where there are snow apps, and you want power backup and internet.
Yes.
That's very basic. And we tell our guests, so if you want to go to Dharamshala, if you want to go to McLeodganj for a weekend, please don't come. So if you just want to practice silence and focus on your work, welcome.
No, so, I mean,
and we have a monthly discounts, almost 40%, which we do on a...
So I'm interested. You're saying that you are not allowing your guests to travel to other places like McLeodganj, etc. And obviously this is to keep the staff on the property, etc. safe.
Yeah. So don't go out. Just stay. We are in the jungle. Don't go out.
What response? What is the response you get to this request / order that you can't travel out of the property or the ground?
So I'm very happy focusing on what's working out with both the parties involved at the moment. So whosoever, since I'm a super host also on Airbnb, and so whosoever goes for this, and actually people are concerned that a lot of guests go out and they come back. So what are the precautions do you make? So people are now, the Himachal opened up RT-PCR, and my clients are telling me we will still do RT-PCR and come to you. And I request them, please do RT-PCR and come to me.
So you have certain criteria, and it sounds like you have a certain target audience, because a lot of people feel like we had Kashish and Hemang who traveled out for a vacation, but they don't want to be unsafe. So they also want to be at a property that they know is keeping certain standards.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. I want to bring in Dr. Shashank Joshi. Dr. Joshi, COVID cases on the decline, thankfully, and so more and more Indians are traveling within India. But this is not what the doctor has ordered.
That's very true. Because, the current strain is the Delta strain. Delta strain, affects, instead of the old R0 of 3.5, almost 8, which means it's a rapidly transmissible strain. And COVID is not over in India. Still, we are reporting 41,000 cases as of today. Yeah. Though 50% of the cases are coming from Kerala and Maharashtra. But, and maybe in north of India, the second wave is probably over. And it's a very reassuring sign. There is no need to crowd and congregate. You follow, say, safe COVID practices, COVID appropriate behaviors. You go in your isolation. We are not against people not traveling. If it is essential and mandatory for work, they should travel with due precautions, get double vaccinated, but stay safe and keep others safe. But the reckless behavior and the careless behavior worries us. And I think this so-called rebellious or revengeful tendency is a mindset issue. I understand that people are bottled up at home, they are fatigued out at home, they need an outlet, and this is like a bubble about to burst, but not at the cost of getting into a third wave. I don't think this is a way to get into that. So I think we need to be more mindful and careful. And as long as we are cautious, correct, appropriate, I think it's fine if there are some norms which are very tight. Unfortunately, you see, we are violating and Indians are not very good at adhering to norms. Everything on paper looks perfect, but when it is practiced, it may not be perfect. And that is the cause of worry. And remember that some parts of India, like northeast of India, some parts of Andhra and Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Maharashtra clearly have a red flag. So a lot of part, there is an active virus in the circulation. And this active virus in the circulation might be the thick tail of the second wave, or we might directly transit into the third wave. And Delta is not something to be taken lightly. All over the world, including US and Europe and UK, we are seeing concerns from Delta coming up. Delta is originated from here. So I think I would appeal to everybody to be careful and mindful, even if they want to travel for an outlet, for a vacation, for a staycation, they need to be very clearly adhering to some protocols. And if it can be parked for maybe 3 to 6 months, it's great. Secondly, there's a lot of false sense of security. People, when they get 2 vaccines or 1 vaccine, they feel that they're going to be immune. I think they still need to practice tight COVID appropriate behavior, including double masking, avoiding crowded environments.
Because the vaccine doesn't prevent you from getting COVID.
Yeah,
It
you can
protects
still
you
get an infection.
from a
That's
strong
correct.
case. So, Dr. Joshi, you know, the government has expressed concern over these crowds, though it's completely opened up these states, and nobody seems to be checking at the borders whether there's no requirement for getting an RT-PCR test before you come, no requirement for checking whether you have a vaccine. But they have expressed concern over these crowds since COVID is known to spread via the air. Now, in an attempt to drive their point home this week, the government referred to the spike of cases in the UK, where over 1 lakh people were allowed to in London's Wembley Stadium. This is at the early matches of the European Football Championship. This week, the UK, which is expected to lift restrictions on the 19th, has seen 30,000 daily new cases for the first time since January. However, the point we are missing is that the UK has one of the world's strongest vaccination rates. 51% have been vaccinated with both doses. This is according to Reuters. In contrast, or by contrast, India has given just 2 doses to just 5% of our population. So, crores of us are still susceptible to severe and symptomatic COVID infections, Dr. Joshi?
Absolutely. I completely agree with you, Sarah. I think Indians can have their little outlets, do the small little things which give them joy from their home, from their, safe bubble environments around their houses. And, that is what they should do rather than rushing into this so-called revenge tourist or shopping spots and again behaving recklessly. So I think we need to wait. In another 3 to 6 months, we will be at the place where UK is. And I'm also concerned for UK. See, the world also needs to understand that maybe what they are doing may not be appropriate. So even if they are double vaccinated, it doesn't give them, immunity from not picking up the virus or having an outbreak. So I think it's a cause of concern, and we should not repeat the mistake we made between the first and second wave. We should not repeat and allow the second wave to have a thicker tail or directly go into a third wave. So I think it's a cause of concern, and it's appeal because people and human behavior is a tough one. And I think the virus behavior is more predictable than the human behavior. And I think this is something, Sarah, we really need to adhere to. And I appeal to everybody to behave responsibly. And I think they cannot cheat their own self. And I think that's the way to go.
It's revenge tour. I'm not sure if revenge tourism is the right word. It's almost like it should be self-goal tourism. Thank you all for joining us. This is an important message we're hearing from Dr. Joshi, something for all of us to think about. Thank you. Right, welcome back. Time now to then look into our special Google segment. Welcome back. Given the circumstances, the question now we are asking is the only solution for us to vaccinate. We're now in our special campaign, Vaccinate India, in partnership with Google, and Dr. Shashank Joshi is still with us. So, Dr. Joshi, if all of India is on the move, out and about, traveling with a vengeance, how can one protect oneself, our loved ones from COVID?
So I think, Sarah, the answer is very simple. We need to get both our vaccine shots in order. We still need to double mask independent of that. The reason I say double mask is if you have access to N95 mask, it should be properly and appropriately fitted. I don't think it, as long as you have a well-fitting mask and if you double mask, it is safer. We must ensure that some distance and some sanitization or simple hand washing with soap is maintained. And we definitely need to avoid crowds and be in a better ventilated environment. You see, even if you are in an air-conditioned environment, in an indoor place, and if there is an exhaust fan or there is a HEPA filter, it is worth it. Secondly, the biggest challenge we have is when we unmask.
Sorry, is that what you said?
Sorry?
You said that if you're indoors, you have your AC on and a HEPA filter, it's worth it.
It's worth it still.
Okay.
But still you should be masked. See, whenever you unmask, or in the time we unmask is usually when we have to have food or want to have a cup of tea and coffee. We need to be mindful and careful. Even if you are double vaccinated, be a little more cautious and careful. So I think the clear message is mask and vaccinate. And if we are able to do that in a much better and a granular way, I think we will be able to tide over. This is only for the next 6 months. I think within 6 months, if you ask me, we'll be disruption free. Currently, COVID has disrupted all our lives across the world and within India and within each part and geography of India. So if you are really wanting to move to a disruption-free world of COVID, I think we need some responsibility in terms of masking and ensuring that both the vaccine doses are taken. Don't have any hesitancy to take the vaccine. Don't keep on browsing which vaccine you're going to get. Just get your 2 shots as quickly as possible so that you're protected. And even after getting your 2 shots, ensure that you mask yourself appropriately.
Doctor, basically what you're saying, our only protection against COVID are masks and vaccines, and I can hear this plea that you're putting out, and this plea to all our viewers. You know, it's just a matter of another 6 months, and I know you speak for the medical fraternity who are going to be the most affected while everybody else goes on these breaks, and then, you know, the cases will be back to square one. But what about vaccine effectiveness? Vaccines can't stop the spread of infections, but it can slow down infections?
Well, vaccines can even not only stop the infection, but slow down the infection for sure. See, if you are vaccinated, even if you get a breakthrough, the breakthrough is very low. You know, if you look at the incidence of breakthrough vaccinations within India also, among the healthcare communities which have 2 vaccines, it is 0.003, 0.004. So, and even the people who have got the breakthrough infections are either asymptomatic or mild disease. We are preventing deaths. See, currently our objective is to save every life from COVID and save every patient who will get a serious disease or severe disease. That's the first thing. And I think we will get better vaccines. We are having nasal vaccines, sprays which are being undertaken. They will clearly prevent COVID totally. They are probably 3 or 6 months away. But till that time, vaccines clearly make a dent on the COVID curve and are trying to get into a safer environment. So if we want our economy to restart, if we vaccinate our population to around 70% with the current exposure, and we keep on following a appropriate behavior, probably to a great extent we will be able to get into a normal disruption-free world, you know, and that's something which is very doable and achievable.
So it's just a matter of time. We've got to just arm ourselves, protect ourselves with vaccines until we reach the end, the light at the end of this tunnel. So, Doctor, again, questions coming in from our viewers, from our audiences. Can a vaccinated person give COVID to an unvaccinated person? How long does it take to develop immunity after getting vaccinated?
So, usually after 2 doses of the vaccine, 15 days after that, you are having some degree of immunity. But in any unfortunate eventuality, you do get a breakthrough infection. You know, usually the viral load is low. So if the viral load is low, but if you still carry a Delta strain, it's a transmissible strain. So you can still transmit. So even if you are vaccinated, but unfortunately if you have got a breakthrough infection, you can still transmit the virus. And if you are carrying and harboring a Delta strain, which is most likely to happen if you are staying in the geography of India, then it's going to be still more transmissible. It is going to be clustered. Its R0 is almost 8. So almost, instead of out of 1 into 3.5, it's going to 1 into 8. So obviously, it is going to be a transmissible strain. So we need that caution, precaution, isolation, and, taking the due care which is needed. Now, most people are asymptomatic. It is the asymptomatic people who have COVID, which actually are the invisible population within the world. And that is the invisible population which is transmitting this airborne droplet infection. So if we really need to curb COVID, we need to really be responsible. So if you double mask, even if you don't know you have COVID, you don't need an RT-PCR test. You are actually protecting your own self and protecting others around you. So whether you are vaccinated or not, you are still taking the due precautions to ensure that you are into a safe environment. That's the only way, currently at least, for this year, 2021, that's the way to go. Probably between
the only way to protect yourself is to vaccinate and mask. Look to protect yourselves, your loved ones. Do it for yourself, for your family, for your loved ones. Do it for your country. Thank you for joining us tonight, Dr. Joshi. Thank you for your service too. That's it on We the People.